When it comes to relationships, one of the most overlooked truths is this: value creates desire. Think about it. Anything in life that feels rare, exclusive, or hard to get automatically feels more valuable. Diamonds are just rocks until somebody tells you they're rare. A luxury car is just a car until you realize only a few people can afford it. And in love, the same principle applies. A man will always desire more of what he feels he could lose, but he will take for granted what he believes he can always have. Here's the thing: when you don't chase, you create mystery. That mystery is powerful. It's not about playing games or pretending you don't care. It's about recognizing your worth and allowing someone else to meet you where you are, instead of lowering yourself to meet them, where they're comfortable. When a man sees that you're not rushing, not begging, not blowing up his phone, it triggers something in his mind. Why isn't she all over me like everybody else? Why is she not chasing? That curiosity builds desire. Men are natural pursuers. From the beginning of time, they've been wired to chase, to hunt, to conquer, to work for what they want. When you give yourself away too easily, when you make it clear that your whole world revolves around him, you rob him of that pursuit. And when the pursuit is gone, so is the passion. It's not because he's cruel, it's because value is tied to effort. What we work for, we honor. What comes without effort, we tend to take lightly. Now, picture this: a woman who knows her worth. She's not arrogant, but she's confident. She doesn't sit by the phone waiting for him to call. She doesn't cancel her plans because he texted her at the last minute. She doesn't rearrange her life to fit into his. Instead, she lives her life fully. And if he wants a place in it, he has to earn it. That's value. And that value creates desire. The beauty of this principle is that it shifts the dynamic. Instead of you chasing him, you give him a reason to chase you. And don't get it twisted. This isn't about manipulation. This is about self-respect. When you respect yourself, you automatically set the tone for how others will treat you. If you show him that you'll tolerate being treated like an afterthought, then he'll keep treating you that way. But if you show him that your time, energy, and love are precious, he'll realize he has to bring his best if he wants to keep you. The mystery you create by not chasing gives him room to wonder about you, to think about you when you're not around. And that space is important. Because when someone has to wonder, when they don't always know exactly what you're doing or thinking, their mind fills in the blanks. That's when desire grows. He starts asking himself, where is she? Who's she with? Why isn't she answering right away? And suddenly he's the one putting in the effort. This is why desperation kills attraction. When you make a man your focus, when you overgive and over, invest before he's earned it, you strip yourself of mystery and you lower your value in his eyes. It doesn't mean you aren't valuable. It just means you've made yourself too available, too predictable, too easy to reach. Remember, people don't treasure what they don't have to earn. That's true for jobs, goals, and yes, relationships. The truth is, real value doesn't come from pretending to be busy or playing games. Real value comes from genuinely knowing who you are, what you deserve, and refusing to settle for less. When you carry yourself like someone who has something rare to offer, a man sees that and responds to it. He wants to step up because he knows you're not just another option. You're the prize. So ladies, Never forget, when you don't chase, you create mystery. And that mystery builds respect. Respect turns into effort. Effort turns into commitment. And commitment is where love grows. A man values what he has to work for, not what's handed to him. The key is to stand in your worth, set your standards, and let him rise to meet them. Because the moment you start seeing yourself as valuable, you won't have to chase anybody. They'll chase you. Would you like me to expand this with Steve Harvey style storytelling and humor, like adding real life examples and funny scenarios, so it feels like he's talking directly to the audience? One of the greatest truths in relationships is that energy is more powerful than anything you could ever say. You can tell a man, "I'm fine," but if your energy says you're upset, he feels it. You can tell a man, "I don't care," but if your energy is still chasing after him, he knows you do. Words are easy, but energy doesn't lie. That's why energy speaks louder than words. When you pull back your attention, it creates a shift. People don't realize how much power attention carries until it's gone. Think about it. Attention is like sunlight to a plant. The more it gets, the more it grows. When you're giving a man all your attention, you're feeding him. You're checking up on him, texting him first, liking every post, making sure he feels noticed. But the moment you stop, the moment you pull that energy back, he notices the absence. He starts asking, "Wait a minute, where'd all that attention go?" That shift makes him lean forward, because now the energy he was used to having on demand isn't there anymore. See, a lot of women get caught up in the idea that if they just do more, care more, and give more, then he'll finally understand how much he means. But it rarely works that way. In fact, the more you overextend, the more he relaxes. He doesn't have to give you his best, because he knows you'll give yours no matter what. But when you stop caring too much, when you stop overinvesting, suddenly he's uncomfortable. He starts to feel the gap. That's when he begins to care more, because now there's effort required on his part. Let me put it this way. Your energy teaches him how to treat you. If your energy says, "I will always be here, no matter how little you give me," then that's exactly how he'll respond. But if your energy says, "I value myself, and I won't pour into someone who doesn't pour into me," then you create balance. And balance makes him step up. But the truth is, men are sensitive to energy shifts. You don't have to announce, "I'm done chasing you." You don't have to write a speech or send a long text. Just live your life, shift your focus, and stop feeding him with constant attention. Suddenly, he's curious. Suddenly, he's wondering what you're up to, who you're with, why you don't seem so invested anymore. That curiosity fuels effort, and that effort builds attraction. It's like when you're used to hearing a song on the radio every single day. At first, you don't even notice it because it's always there. But when the station stops playing it, suddenly you're like, "Man, where's that song? I miss it." That's how attention works. Consistency without boundaries breeds complacency, but pulling back creates appreciation. And here's the most important part. Pulling back doesn't mean you're playing games. It means you're no longer draining yourself to keep someone else comfortable. It means you've chosen to care for yourself instead of caring too much about someone who isn't matching your energy. That self